Welcome back, everyone, to Not to the Right, where we dig into the biggest stories shaping the world today. I'm Natasha.
And I'm Nick. Today's episode is all about the massive dockworkers strike set to hit U.S. ports in just a few hours. We're talking about 45,000 members of the International Longshoremen's Association walking off the job, potentially shutting down 36 ports across the East and Gulf coasts.
Yeah, this is huge, Nick. This strike could have a ripple effect on just about everything we buy. Cars, coffee, Christmas trees, if it drags on. It's not just a local issue either, it could impact global trade, especially with the UK, one of our largest trading partners.
Right, and we're heading straight into peak holiday shopping season. A strike like this, on top of everything else, could send prices skyrocketing as retailers struggle to get goods on shelves. Americans may see delays and higher prices for everyday items, which is the last thing anyone needs, with inflation already pinching wallets.
Exactly. So, let's break down what's happening. The ILA says they're going to strike at midnight because of a deadlock in negotiations with the US Maritime Alliance, the union's big sticking points, wages and automation. They're saying that while shippers are raking in billion-dollar profits in 2024, longshore workers are being offered what they call an unacceptable wage package.
That's a familiar story in labor disputes, especially this year. Workers are feeling undervalued while the corporations at the top seem to be doing just fine. The ILA is also pushing back hard against automation, cranes, gates, trucks, saying it could eliminate jobs that keep communities thriving.
Automation is always a tough issue. I get why dock workers are worried. No one wants to be replaced by a machine. But from the business side, it's about efficiency and cutting costs. The question is, where's the middle ground? Will the port operators give in, or are we looking at a long standoff?
If this goes on for weeks, we're going to feel it. Shipping delays will pile up. Retailers will pay more for those delays, and that'll all trickle down to us, the consumers. It's not just toys for Christmas. Dokia from Pro 3PL mentioned how shipments are already being rerouted out west, and that's clogging up supply chains out there too.
Yeah, and it's not just domestic, like you said earlier. The UK relies heavily on US trade, so they're going to feel the pinch as well. This could even roll into 2025 if it's not resolved soon. We're talking long-term impacts that go beyond just a holiday season hiccup.
So, here's the thing. President Biden has the power to step in under the Taft-Hartley Act. He could order an 80-day cooling-off period, basically forcing both sides to stay at the table and suspending the strike. But Biden has already said, "No, I'm not going to do that," because he believes in collective bargaining. That's a pretty bold move, considering how this could play out in the lead-up to an election year.
It really is. It sends a message to labor that the administration supports their right to strike, but at the same time, the consequences could be severe for the economy if this drags on. It's a delicate balance, supporting workers while managing the fallout of such a massive disruption to the supply chain.
Especially with the stakes so high. A strike this big hasn't happened on the East Coast since 1977, so we're in uncharted waters here. If Biden sticks to his stance, what do you think it means for the political landscape as we get closer to 2024?
It's hard to say, but it could cut both ways. Labor unions have a lot of political clout, and they'll appreciate the administration not stepping in. But if this strike leads to long-term economic issues, especially for consumers, you can bet it'll be a major talking point for opponents.
Yeah, Trump's already out there talking about the economy, and something like this could give him more ammunition. Meanwhile, Democrats are walking a tightrope between supporting labor rights and preventing economic fallout. Let us remember that it was the Trump administration that deeply damaged the economy by adding 40% to the monetary supply and giving trillions in tax breaks and tax cuts to the wealthiest among us, thus causing the issues with inflation as we speak.
Absolutely. We'll be keeping an eye on what happens next, whether there's a last-minute deal or if we're heading toward full-blown chaos at the ports. Either way, buckle up, because this strike could be just the beginning of a much bigger conversation about the future of labor, automation, and trade in the US.
For sure. We'll keep you all updated as this story develops. And in the meantime, if you're wondering how you can support those affected by Hurricane Helene, we've included links in the description below to organizations providing relief and supplies to the hardest hit areas.
Thanks for joining us today on Not the Right. If you found this episode insightful, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on our future discussions.
Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll catch you next time.